you got even Christians who believe the earth is flat. What do you have to say to those guys?
It's a very deceptive and unfortunate teaching. I could not believe that I would have to do this, but last year I wrote an extensive article which is available for free on my website if anybody would just go there and read it. There's absolutely no truth to the flat earth concept whatsoever. And of course, while there's arguments to counter every one of their supposed arguments, I think the single biggest one is they say that there's no such thing as gravity, that the only reason we have the sense of gravity, that things fall to the earth, so to speak, to the floor, is because the earth is accelerating. The problem is, of course, that to maintain that effect, you would have to maintain an acceleration of 1g, which means that the earth today would be traveling at basically close to light speed, which is obviously not true.
Wow.
I mean, there's 100 other things that are wrong with the whole teaching. It's not a biblical teaching. And I know that there are pastors in Brazil, in Africa, in Europe, even in the United States, who are teaching it's a biblical concept, and it's not. That's a lie.
Yeah, because the argument I put forward to them is that how come you got all the planets we've come in contact with, every planet is round, how come this is the only flat one for them? But they still say, well, they have the argument, they have the answers from the Bible, which doesn't make sense at all.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. The Bible speaks in using many forms of the language. That is to say that there are places where it's poetic. There are places where it's history. So, for instance, Genesis chapter 1 is written in continuous Hebrew narrative, meaning it's history according to the writings in Hebrew. Whereas there's other places where it's using Hebrew poetry. Agreed?
Yeah.
But the thing is that in the Bible, often what's being described is what's called phenomenal language, meaning it's what we see as the observer on the surface. So we see the sun rise in the east, set in the west, as we are fixed on the surface. That's what we see. It's a phenomena that we see. But it's not a scientific statement of what's actually happening.